The Sanosi is back studios of Arizona. The first show of 2024, Conrad McGregor is a liar. UFC News, let's chat live with the MMA-Holes.
Wonderful.
Welcome to the Monday show. How you doing? How you doing, chat? Hopefully you're wonderful. My name is Chris, Mystic Moss, King of the Dragons, and I will be taking you on this joyous ride. 2024 is here, and Conor McGregor is a liar. We're going to be discussing the video that dropped about Conor McGregor, the New Year's Eve announcement about his return, and he says he's not fighting UFC 300. Now, listen, we did a live stream during New Year's Eve, getting a little drunk, getting a little stoned. So if you want to go check that out, we left it up for you. Watch at your own risk. We just dabbled in a little bit of the Conor situation, but I didn't really give it much thought. I was just like, well, it's the new year. Let's get intoxicated. But as I was looking at the video over and over again and noticed that there's nothing really else in the news besides Tyron Woodley eating a muffin.
Wonderful.
A wet muffin. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Conor McGregor's the big story, so we're going to talk about it. Conor McGregor, the liar that he is. Big shout out to mybookie.ag. The promo code is MMA-Holes for a 50% match on your first deposit. Go check out their best bets and all their fun stuff over there. If you're going to place a bet, do it at mybookie.ag. The promo code is MMA-Holes for 50% match on your first deposit. ESPN Plus is how you watch all the fights when they pop back into the mix, the UFC. Click the link in the description. You can get the pay-per-views, you get the fight nights, you can get all that food and stuff on ESPN Plus in the description down below. And the replay of this show will be live on Clash TV, so give us a follow on Clash. How you doing, Clash? If you're watching the stream on Clash, make sure you drop a comment down below. And Clash TV is where we're streaming Tuesdays, so check that out, Clash TV. All right, I see Sanosi in the chat, the man who dropped a crazy donation on Fuko Friday. We even left that stream up for you as well. We're feeling nice. It's not going to happen all the time, so become a member, support the show. But we're giving about some freebies for the replay, so if you want to catch up on some content, you have a chance to do that. There's Conor McGregor at dinner. New Year's Day, this drops. And he's got, it's weird. What I noticed is he goes to dinner with a McGregor Fast shirt on. This is like a fancy restaurant, the whole deal. But I guess when you have an obnoxious amounts of money, it doesn't really matter how you dress. But yeah, McGregor Fast t-shirt is how he makes this announcement. And he does look very abnormally young here. There has to be some sort of filter or something. Are they filming it backwards? I don't know. I think D is the one behind the camera. You can hear a snicker in a sec when I play this video. But Conor looks abnormally young. Did anyone notice that? I was like, wait, did he jump in a time machine and get the featherweight Conor McGregor to do this video? Like, what happened over here? But he still looks thick. So we'll get into it in a second here. We got an alert. Let's play it. Liar!
Wonderful.
Sanosi! How you doing?
And still Fuko Friday champ walking into 2024. 185 pounds has to be false. But well, I don't 100% hate the idea if Roy Gregor stayed, as there are interesting matchups there and he gets killed at 170.
There we go. Thank you so much. Gets killed. What are you talking about? He beats everyone, right? Well, listen, we're going to get into it. Thank you so much, Sanosi, for the donation. Let's go, champ. The Fuko Friday champ. I see Zevin1 in the chat says, June too far away. That's what he says. We're going to get to the announcement in a second. How many people did not see this video? I see people say it's a deep fake video. Maybe. I don't know. It's weird, man. He doesn't even look like himself. Listen, we just saw him at the Day of Reckoning event, the boxing event that happened, and he does not look like this. Looks a little bit older, a little thinner, hair, the whole thing. But anyway, everything about this video is probably fake. And listen, before I jump into, dissecting this, I am a Conor fan. I've been a Conor fan since the beginning. And some people may call me a nut rider. And sometimes I do ride on those Irish balls, those big Irish balls. But tonight, I don't think I'm going to be riding much on those balls because, listen, first off, UFC 300 is a card that should be headlined by Conor McGregor. Let's make that very clear. This card, he belongs on that card. I even saw like these theories online. And by the way, this is so annoying. Like I'm looking at like $299, fight nights, $298, normal UFC logo. And then it's like, boom, UFC 300, like a child wrote it. Scribble scratch. Someone was looking at the 3 on UFC 300 and said, hey, it's a sideways M. McGregor's going to be on there. And you know what? Not only is McGregor going to be on this card, but the M that's sideways is also a 3 in the 300, and maybe he's going to be fighting Diaz, part 3. That's what it looks like. You'll see. It's the message. I don't understand what the hell's going on with this. I hope there's something to this other than a 4-year-old put this thing together. My toddler couldn't do a better, whatever. Anyway, but that's a thing over there, UFC 300. They have Prohaska and they have Rakic. Not the main event. They just have their faces there to hold the spot. This card is supposed to be like the biggest card. It's supposed to be a massive event. It's a big deal, 300 numbered cards for the UFC. So, the 200 they tried, they failed. And now they're going to try it again at 300. And I got to be honest, everything that they've thrown on the card, it's okay. It's not bad. I mean, if they're low on the card, if they're preliminary fights, sure. Okay, cool. All right. I'm not excited. Former champ Aljamain Sterling, he was crying in the jiu-jitsu tournament that I saw. Rakic versus Prohaska. Rakic gets his way. He lays on Yuri. That sucks. Bo Nichols fighting a fucking can. All right, whatever. That's great. Okay, there's something there. There's something over there. Listen, it seems like because this announcement that Conor made, it sure seems like Conor's not going to be in the main event, right? Well, let's play this thing. And maybe we shouldn't rule Conor out completely in 300. It sounds like there's a lot of nonsense going on, and it also sounds like the UFC is trying to do whatever they can to get Conor on 300. I think they're like, well, we could put together some title fights. We could do. Apparently, Aspinall made it clear he is not fighting Pereira. Pereira is going to stay down and defend his belt. Israel Adesanya has been rumored to fight Pereira again, so he might go up and try another crack at that belt. All right. I mean, it's cool, but not 300 main event cool. Sorry, it's not. But hey, hold on a second. There's other title fights. Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. Bilal deserves it. UFC 300? Listen, hey, I'm happy Bilal's getting the shot, And Leon Edwards is running around with his belt at soccer games, football games, whatever you want to call it. Leon Edwards is saying that he's definitely fighting on UFC 300. I'm going to get to the video. But before I went live, I noticed this. I saw Jedi Goodman. I was like, oh, he's usually good with stuff. And he retweeted this post over here. Jorge Masvidal unretired. Masvidal unretired. So, dude, if this fucking happens, if they just slip George in there to fight Leon Edwards because of the 3-piece in the soda, please, is that... No. I mean, we're going from Bilal Muhammad, then you're going to say Masvidal, who looked like trash, retired. No. Maybe Masvidal versus Diaz. I see that in the chat. That's a possibility. I hope if you're going to go somewhere, you go that route, because that fight abruptly stopped because of a cut, even though Diaz was getting his ass whooped. I got to be honest with you. That kind of makes sense. But if you fucking tell me that Masvidal goes in there and fights fucking Leon, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, wait, no, don't do this to me. No.
Wonderful.
Kainotto?
Conor is bloated and has that unhealthy red tint to his skin now. According to my sources, Conor is purposely dragging people around with this news so that he'll be relevant when the Roadhouse remake comes out.
I have a feeling, and thank you so much, Kainotto, we're going to get to the video. We're going to break it down over here. But, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And I appreciate you guys stopping by. I appreciate you guys donating. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like button as well. Everyone, stop what you do and bash it up. It's wonderful, wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think he's not even close to signing a contract. I think he's not even close to be fighting this year. I just don't. I want him to fight at UFC 300. That'd be fun. I want the circus to happen, but I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. We got another alert. Before we get into this, let me play it.
Wonderful.
I would be a fan of McGregor too. He is MMA YouTube bait to the max. Didn't y'all flourish when he was in his prime?
Yep.
Also controversial. McGregor is basically like a UFC 300/Super Bowl. Jorge versus Leon would print money for 300. Anyone but Belal on 300.
Anyone but Bilal on 300. Jorge versus Leon would print money. Oh my God, Sinosi, don't tell me you're for that. Please don't tell me you're for that. Now, if you just jump into the stream, George did put on Twitter that he's unretired. So Jorge Masvidal is back in the business. The first thing that jumped into my head was Masvidal versus what's it called? Leon, which doesn't make any sense, and it should not happen. But my goodness, you never know with the UFC. You just never. I don't think they want Bilal Muhammad to be fighting Leon Edwards. Now, I did see over this, and big shout out to a person named Hotep Dave. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but very nice person on X. Sent us some clips as well. And he puts unretired, and then he says, can we see this? And it says Masvidal versus Covington, the rematch. Would you be interested in that? I wouldn't. I would not be interested in that because Masvidal got his ass whooped, and he would get his ass whooped once again. I would not be interested, but I guess that makes a little bit more sense than having Leon versus, Masvidal, considering he got his ass whooped and looked twice. He looked horrible. Yeah. But he says he's unretired, George, and now you have him in the mix. And circling back around to what Sinosi said about McGregor, yeah, when McGregor was on fire, I mean, I got to be honest with you, the reason why we went full-time early was because of Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor, I mean, it was a like catapult, for us as a YouTube channel. When McGregor was fighting, I mean, the world exploded. McGregor, I'll never forget this. When McGregor got his way to Floyd Mayweather, and that was when things were really starting to go crazy, with Conor. And we were showing up at the events that they were having. They had this whole circus tour of him and Mayweather. And that's how we met John Jones, through the lunatic McGregor knockoff guy in the crowd, and Devin Clark and some of these other guys. Like a lot of things opened up for us because of McGregor. So there is a loyalty towards him, but my goodness, he's driving me nuts now. It's like, fight already. Let's go. What are we doing? And a lot of people will benefit on YouTube. MMA YouTube is saturated, super oversaturated with content creators that are basically talking about the same thing over and over and over again. It's nauseating, right? But everyone would benefit if McGregor came back. So that is a reason. There are certain content creators out there that are going the other way and trying to cater to the audience that can't stand McGregor. I kind of get what they're doing. But then they're saying, well, this is not WWE. That's for the WWE fans. Listen, theatrics is fun. Let's be honest. At the end of the day, we're here to see a fight, right? Belts are cool. But I got to be honest with you. What would you rather see? A title fight? That's or a fucking banger of just two people in the cage that are not even close to a belt? What would you rather see? I would rather see two people in there. I would rather watch two bums fight. Like, I don't know. If it's sanctioned, and they hype it up nice, I'd like to see that. We want to see good fights at the end of the day. I think that's where the MMA fans came from. Like we're watching a very brutal sport. We want to see brutality in there. We don't want to see a technical fucking fight. You could take that technical masterpiece and shove it up your ass if it's a 5-round snoozer. I don't care. I don't give a shit. And I've been watching the sport for a decent amount of time. I've made a living off this, watching this sport for a decent amount of time. And I still feel the same way. Now, I can appreciate if a person technically beats another fighter. I could appreciate it, but do I want to watch it? The answer is no, baby. No! That's why Conor McGregor coming back in. Listen, we all know what Conor is right now, and maybe, who knows? He keeps on saying greatest comeback of all time, right? I don't believe it. Probably a 1% chance that happens. But if it does, I mean, Jesus Christ, my fucking head will explode. The internet will explode, and that's fun. That's fun, man. You know, so listen, the reason why I feel let down about 300 is because I want McGregor on it, man. I want the circus. I want the big fancy 300 number on the card. I want all the theatrics. I want all the bells and whistles pulling people. I mean, all right, if you want to bring back Masvidal, make damn sure you put him in there against the guy that's interesting. And probably the only guy is Nate Diaz. Is his best days behind him? Yes. His best days are way behind him. But at least it's fun. You know, at least we can get in there. Now, Tony Ferguson versus Nate Diaz headlining that card when everything was falling apart. I wasn't a big fan. I didn't like it, but what are you going to do? The card was a mess from the beginning. It was supposed to be Hamzat versus Nate. Made no fucking sense. Nothing about it made sense. It was going to be a murder in there. Anyway, if Masvidal comes back to fight Diaz, and Diaz has a chance at redemption, well, all right, I'm interested. And maybe Masvidal can redeem himself, too, if he just completely flatlines and finishes Nate. Maybe. Just maybe. Who knows? But that's interesting. So whoever put that in the chat, that's a good one. I like that. Now let's get to the Conor video, okay? It's kind of sickening me, but I'm gonna play it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a happy new year to you all.
Got this music in the background, so I'm gonna kind of stop it.
I'd like to announce the return date for myself, the notorious Conor McGregor, for the greatest comeback of all time.
Now, okay, you look at his face. He's clearly acting here, right? This is a Conor acting skit. D's holding the camera. You got Ace of Base in the background, like a fucking, I don't know, Punjabi Ace of Base going on. I don't know what the hell's going on back there. Looks like a fine establishment. Conor McGregor's rocking his McGregor Fast shirt because he put on his finest threads for the evening and the announcement. This is a joke. My man, he showed up in his workout gear. He didn't even comb his hair. He's drunk as a fucking, look at him. He's got the wine. Guy's completely blitzed.
Will take place in Las Vegas for International Fight Week.
Las Vegas, International Fight Week, whipping around the fucking obnoxiously expensive wine.
June the 29th.
June 29th. Mark your calendars. Conor McGregor, he's coming back. It's a lock. Because, yeah, the UFC would let Conor do that, right? The UFC would confirm that Conor's fighting then and have him announce it before the UFC announces it, right? Dana loves that. Dana loves that shit, right?
Come a little closer.
Come a little closer, everybody. Come a little closer. Conor has some more to tell you.
And the opponent, Michael Chandler. And the weight, Mr. Chandler, 185 pounds.
The opponent, Michael Chandler. So he's announcing this to his opponent as well. His opponent had no idea. No fucking clue. No clue. His opponent has no idea about this. So he's going to announce it to him. And his opponent has no idea what the weight is. 185 pounds. The letdown. The fucking letdown. You know. That he just put onto the internet. It's like, okay. You're clearly far away from fighting ever. Like, we don't fucking know when you're coming back, right? We have no fucking idea. Now you're saying it's not 300. It's this June date. It's Michael Chandler. It's at 185. Now, listen, I don't care if you fight at 200. I don't give a fuck. Just get back in there. I want the circus. I want the bullshit. I want everything. Give it to me. Feed it to me. I want all that nonsense. I want you to brainwash us into making us think that you're going to fucking win this fight. I don't care if you fight a sumo wrestling. I don't give a shit what you're doing. If it's a slap fight, power slap, I couldn't give a fuck. Just get back in there. Let's go. Enough's enough. I don't want to see you fight Manny Pacquiao, though. That's ridiculous. But what do we get from this video? We get that Conor is drunk. He's fucking in his gym outfit. He's got D, has the camera. They're drinking. They're having a good time. He's trolling everybody. Not even close. Not even close to signing a contract.
Mr. Chandler, 185 pounds.
You can hear the giggling in the background from D. He's... You fucking asshole. What a fucking prick. What a prick this man is. He's such a prick. He's an obnoxious prick that's loaded and he doesn't give a fuck. And I can laugh at it, but it drives me nuts because I make a living off of this shit. I got to talk about this fucking nonsense. But if I was in his situation, I'd be laughing my ass off too. And I could understand why people would be so aggravated with this human being. Because it's like, just get in there. Just fucking fight. We had to wait for your titanium shin bone to set in. Motherfucker just trolling everybody. Sitting there with his weird ass, like, AI face. I don't know. How the hell does his face look so smooth? He's back, baby. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not back. He's not fucking back. Chandler's got to be throwing himself off a fucking balcony. Like, crap. How long do I got to wait 7 years before I can fight again? And is he even coming back? Tyron Woodley's like, man, this news sucks so bad that I'm gonna go suck some pussy and then release it on New Year's Day. His head's buried between the thighs of a woman. Everyone's freaking out. You know, Dana White's like, all right, anything else can happen? All right, George is back now. George is unretired. Dude, the UFC takes a break and then everything falls apart. You take a couple of weeks off, everything is a complete hot mess right now. Get back. Get the UFC back in business because I can't take this shit anymore. It's bad that we have nothing to fucking talk about. But we got Conor McGregor just eating his fucking steak, sipping on his wine, laughing his ass off. D's just laughing. They don't give a shit. No one cares. Dana White's waking up at 6 a.m. and talking about power slap. Hey, what's up, everybody? I had to wake up at 6 a.m. because no one's watching Power Slap, but I had to say something about it so someone would actually watch it. Nina Drama's still running around half naked. Can we get some fucking fights? I'm losing my mind. Conor McGregor's a fucking liar. Sinosi.
Don't mind me making up for lost $2 donos of the last 2 months. I agree about bangers. UFC 300 is more for the casuals than the hardcores. This event should be pulled in more, not less. On the card, if he unharmed, put Tony v. Jim Miller on 300. Maybe get Nick Diaz.
Thank you so much, Sinosi, for the $2. Appreciate Sinosi. Bang, back to back to back. Coming in. Let's go.
Wonderful.
Let's go, Sinosi. Thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate that. A gentleman, a scholar, and go subscribe to Sinosi Sanction over there. He's revitalizing his channel, so go subscribe. I was over at his channel while he was getting drunk. Me, my mother-in-law, and Jesse, after we did our live stream, we went over there. We secretly came into like 2 of his games that he was playing, and then he made a something about banging Monica joke, and I was like, all right, this is not going to work. So we had to leave. But Jesse's mom stayed in 1 extra game, so she's a trooper. But I was like, okay, this guy's clearly boxed, so we had to get out of here. Anyway, if you just jump it into the stream, Conor McGregor flat out lying to the internet. Just lying to the internet, this man. It's clear as day. I mean, listen, he released this on New Year's, right? So it's not like I could sit there. Like, I was kind of disappointed, and we spoke about it on that stream, right? I was disappointed because he's not going to be on a 300 card, so I'm like, well, that card sucks. But we don't know when he's coming back. He says June. That's not happening. He's not going to release that news before Dana White gets a chance to do it. I don't see that happening. Complete troll move. Now, I mean, there's still a chance that he could still be on a 300 card. It's not completely out of the question, but I think the percentage is pretty low now. Who knows? Hopefully, the MMA gods come together and they give us a return of Conor on that card. Now, Sinosi made a donation over there and was talking about, it's for the casuals. I think it's for the hardcores too. Listen, hardcore fans too like a good circus. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hardcore fans could. I mean, I've been watching the sport for a while, and ever since, like, for 7 years straight on this channel, we never missed a fight. You know what I'm saying? We're in over our heads with this sport. I'm having dreams about this sport. I'm waking up and thinking about matchups and fucking what's the latest news, and it's like I'm too plugged into this fucking sport. So to call me a casual, well, maybe with some of my predictions, or maybe with some of my, now my predictions are always right. What am I talking about? Maybe some of my theories can come across as casual, or it could just be clickbaity. Who knows? You never know.
Wonderful, wonderful.
But anyway, I think hardcores can appreciate a good circus as well. You know? Now, the problem, no matter what, what matchup will get you chubbed up as a main event for 300? Or is Dana going to say, well, it's a well-balanced card from beginning to end. It's fantastic. I'm sorry. I want something juicy. You know? I want something juicy on that fucking card. I want by the time we get to that main event, I want the card to be stacked, and I want that main event to just be fun. Just fucking fun. I want smoke. I want the Billy strut. I want something over there. You know? I don't want to watch the whole event and be like, wow, that was a pretty solid card. Well, the main event might suck. Like, I don't want that. I don't know. What is the matchup if Conor is not fighting, right? What is the matchup? Conor is washed up. So is Diaz. So is fucking Masvidal. So are all these knuckleheads that move the needle. You know, all these guys are washed up, right? All of them. But are we going to turn away and not watch them? Of course we're going to watch them. But we want to see a fight. At the end of the day, who gives a fuck about belts? Who gives a fuck about any of that shit? We want to see a good fight. And when I put it in the chat, and I told people, I asked them, I said, what would you rather see? Would you rather see a fucking strategic title fight, or would you rather see just a banger? I mean, you want to see a banger, baby. Balls to the wall. A Chandler versus Gaethje. Sometimes we get lucky and the stars line up and it's a title fight and it's a banger. But it's UFC 300, guys. UFC 300 needs to be massive.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Especially the way they've been hyping it. Kainotto.
Let's go, Conor. The midget slayer is back. He's clearly trolling Chandler. Just look at Conor. The dude has the side profile of a pelican now. He's not fighting ever fucking again. The UFC is a circus now.
It is a circus. There's no doubt about it. And I like it. I do like it. I do like the circus. Listen, we got to fucking think about this. Thank you, Kainotto. Appreciate the donation. You can't disagree that the UFC circus, we got a clown as a champion. Like, legit. Like, I'm not even making this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Kainotto said, the UFC is a circus. How could you deny that statement when you literally have a fucking clown fighting? Headlining UFC 299. There's a clown fighting. So for anyone to be offended by the UFC being a circus, if you're an O'Malley fan and you're offended if someone says the UFC is a circus, well, you need to get your head out of your ass. Because it is a circus. It's a fucking circus. What's next? We have a fire-breathing, a sword swallower as a champion? Is that next? Yeah, I'm down. I don't give a shit if someone gets knocked out. Yo, pass the sword in here. I'm going to swallow this. I'm cool with it. No problems. No problems. I'm in.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Tropic Tom.
If you had to be stranded on a desert island with either Nina Drama or Helen E., which would you choose? Neither Nina's cuck photographer boyfriend or the schmo would be present.
I think Nina's way prettier than Helen Yee. I'm not a big fake breast person, so I would definitely want to be with a real breasted woman on an island. So I would go with Nina. Of course. And she's so funny. Yeah. She could just make me laugh. Could you imagine being on the island with Helen Yee? It's like, would you like me to get you a coca melon? Well, cocoa melon, isn't that? That's what my kids watch. A cocoa melon? What? What are you saying? A cocoa melon? Oh, watermelon? I can't stand the way she talks, man. Helen Yee's probably a sweetheart of a person, but she talks like, she's like, my name is Helen Yee. Imagine listening to that the whole fucking time. Anyway, thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. Tropic Tom.
Wonderful, wonderful.
UFC 300 opener, Power Slap Championship in the Octagon featuring 2 ex-UFC fighters. Right now, honestly, nothing is working for the main event. I made my theories. Who would you choose for a main and co-main, or 3 belts? Pretend or matchmaker Joe.
You know, man. So there is not one fight that gets me going as a title fight for UFC 300. The way we got stuff going on here, you know, like there's nothing that really. I mean, you can drag Tom Aspinall back, but he's going to be defending an interim strap, right? So let's look at the rankings here and see if there's someone maybe we can piece together. You know what the UFC is going to do? They're going to put. It's probably going to be Pereira Adesanya. It's probably going to be Bilal versus Leon Edwards, and I don't know, Grasso Zhang, right? I'm just throwing them out there. Maybe, I don't know. If you have fights that end quickly that are coming up, maybe you could have quick turnarounds and shit. Let's see. Makhachev, I don't know about that Ramadan situation. I think Bilal will, he'll have no problem. If it's for the belt, Bilal will suck it up and go through that. So I think Bilal will do it. But I don't think Islam is going to quite do that. Let's see who else we got here. John Joe's not coming back. I mean, that's it. I mean, Volkanovski, yeah, he's fighting. I mean, if he's unscathed, I have a feeling that's going to be not a tough fight, but I think he's not going to be able to turn around for 300. Yeah, those are the three. And listen, me throwing those fights together, I mean, still, to put that together is going to be a pain in the neck. And if you do put it together, is it something that excites you? I mean, if the whole card is stacked, it's a really solid card. But I went to UFC 217. Here, let me pull this up for you, okay? Still, I think the best card ever. And maybe I'm biased because I went to the card, right? You had 3 title fights on this card. This was in Madison Square Garden. It was the last event I ever went to, okay? It was for Diaper John's birthday. Michael Bisping defended against George St. Pierre. It was his final fight, and he moves up to 185 to fight Bisping. Now, in hindsight, Bisping had one eye. Was Bisping like a legit middleweight champion? I mean, he did beat Luke Rockhold. I mean, you got to give him that. He did go in there and fucking take care of business. But then the Henderson fight was a joke, and the GSP fight, I don't know. I was kind of blind. I was like, yeah, I think Bisping might be too big for GSP. Nope, that didn't. No. But still, GSP's retirement fight, big deal. Goes up a weight class, the whole thing. Cody Garbrandt versus TJ Dillashaw, a lot of smoke with that. Like, that was fun, man. That whole rivalry was a good time. They had the whole tough thing around it. There was a lot of buzz. A little snake in the grass, TJ, Cody Garbrandt. This one's cheating. That one, the beef, blah, blah, blah. Fun. Joanna Jędrzejczyk versus Rose Namajunas. Well, goddamn, Joanna knew how to fucking sell a fight. If you think about a female fighter that made it interesting, whether you liked or hate the Boogie Woman, she was fun. She got on the mic. She winked a million times. I mean, if you put that aside, but she would talk crazy shit. She would get in her opponent's face. Some say she crossed the line in certain things or whatever. But I loved it. And then what happens? Namajunas goes in there and fucking makes Jędrzejczyk fucking tap on the mat. Like, stop it. Like, all 3 belts went a different way. Okay? Those 3 title fights over there, there was something interesting about all of them there. Izzy versus Pereira, I mean, we've seen it a gazillion times. It is interesting. I mean, okay, you put it in the mix. Leon versus Bilal, it's interesting. It's not terrible. And then if you put Zhang versus Grasso, okay, double champ situation. Women, I like Zhang a lot, and Grasso has proved me wrong. She's very good. But do I care? I don't know. Like, this, for me, has more juice, and this was UFC 217. And then besides that, on this card, the thing was a banger. You had the Thompson-Masvidal, wasn't a really good fight, but on paper it seemed cool. Paulo Costa versus Johnny Hendricks. Don't know why they matched that, but it was fucking hilarious. And what else was on that card? Just to go down memory lane. James Vick versus Joseph Duffy. At the time, it was interesting. That was the guy that beat Conor McGregor. Walt Harris versus Godbeer. Fun fight. St. Preux versus Corey Anderson. The nipples were on the card. Randy Brown versus Mickey Gall was fun. What else did we have on there? Curtis Blades versus Olenek. Zahabi versus Ramos. What else? There finishes all over the fucking place here. Alexa Chuk versus Kuti Laba was on there, but that got canceled, unfortunately. And I remember Mark Ramundi broke the news on the MMA Holes about that. But anyway, a bunch of finishes, 3 belts going the other way. this card would be better. I mean, even if you have some fun fights on that card, you're not ending the card with fucking GSP. All things fall apart. You still got GSP going up a weight class, potential retirement fight, making history. You see what I'm saying here? Like that card, UFC 217. If you have 3 title fights on this card, it could still be very good. UFC 300, but still it can't even come close to this shit. In my opinion. Because the card was just a bunch of finishes. It was a lot of fun. And then even if the card sucked, you still at least had GSP, in his retirement fight. Possible retirement fight. And it turned out to be his retirement fight. And then what does he do? He goes up there. He takes care of business. He finishes Michael Bisping. Knocks his other eye out. What's like, if Izzy versus Pereira is going to happen, Izzy could become a champion in another weight class, but he did lose his belt, the last time. He is coming off a loss. It's a little weird, So this is what I'm saying. This is why there's really not many options to make UFC 300 worth it, as a mega spectacular card, unless you got a fucking crazy circus like Conor McGregor on there. Then it gets interesting again. So that's my perspective on that. Let's get back to the alerts here.
Wonderful, wonderful.
We need Strickland or DDP to be healthy enough to jump to 300. I predict Dana is waiting for that card to end to fully fill up UFC 300. If Hoppe kills, maybe he'll get a championship fight. Poochk. We're doomed.
You're
First
right.
3 PPV are that good. Damn.
You're right. Yeah, the year's starting off pretty good. So listen, at the end of the day, we're spoiled, right? Because when the UFC comes back, we do have some pretty good cards, right? We still have the 297, 298, 299 card. All good cards. The fight nights are interesting in between. So we are very spoiled as UFC fans here. But I got to be honest with you. I got to nitpick. You can't give me these bangers and then all of a sudden UFC 300 turn into UFC 200. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can really wrap my head around that. Anyway, what he said in the beginning of that donation, and thank you, Sonosi, UFC's probably waiting. You're probably right. Especially this card right here. Let's look. This could open some things up. Right? So you do have the DDP versus Strickland fight card. Now, a lot of times, Strickland really doesn't get medically suspended. He did get flatlined by Pereira. But if he goes in there and does the jab fucking straight cross, whatever the fuck, does a decision on Duplessis. Duplessis gets tired. Sean wins by points. Doesn't really get hit much because he's got great defense. You could say, all right, Sean Strickland might turn it around. And maybe, this is crazy. This is craziness. But maybe Sean Strickland tries to avenge his loss and move up a weight class against Pereira. Maybe. Now you have my fucking attention. Now you have my attention. Or maybe Duplessis wins. And then Duplessis fights Adesanya for that middleweight strap. Well, that's interesting. That is interesting because you have the whole N-word thing, and Duplessis knows how to sell a fight. He's becoming a star quickly, right? So that is interesting. That is better to me than Pereira versus Adesanya again. So Sonosi's probably onto something there. I do agree with that. These guys could turn it. Now, I don't know if Duplessis is the type of guy to do a quick turnaround and defend the belt. If he wins, I think you have a better shot at Strickland. But imagine Strickland goes up and fights Pereira. Goes up to light heavy and tries to avenge his loss at light heavy and try to become a double. Imagine Sean Strickland becomes a double champion at UFC 300. Bro. Sonosi's probably onto something. I'm pretty sure they're not waiting for the champ of this fight to hop on that card of 300. Maybe as the opening preliminary fight. I don't know. But other than that, I don't know. The Dominic Reyes fight fell off. He's looking for an opponent with Olberg, and who the hell knows. But that's the only thing. The main event on this card could play a factor in what's going on here for UFC 300. So, what do we got? Casey Jones just gifted a double champion. Thank you very much, Casey Jones. My man, Pots and Pans. And I want to thank you, Haji, Mr. Haji, for subscribing. Sufyan, I'm probably saying that wrong. Thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the community. So if you're just jumping in over here, we're trying to dissect what's going on with the world of the Conor McGregor announcement, the UFC 300. We're still trying to figure it out, and I think it's going to be very tough for us to put our finger on what's going on here because the UFC doesn't have it locked in, you know? UFC has no clue. Like, I'm sure they know what direction they want to go in, but I don't think they really have a clue on you know, exactly what's going to be solidified for UFC 300. So we gave you pretty much every option. I think I pretty much covered every single fucking option for 300, the possibilities. I told you what my opinion. Nick versus Nate at 300. Yo, that'd be hilarious. I would be all over that. Sure. Why not? Why not? But let me know in the chat, okay? The live chat, the people that are here in attendance while we're streaming live on the YouTubes. Brock Lesnar. Dude, and even Ronda Rousey. I understand it's WWE. I'm not a W. Here's the funny part. I am not a WWE fan. But if you take theatrics of WWE and you put a real fight together, well, I'm interested. Sure. Why not? I'm here for the nostalgia. I'm here to see someone get pummeled. I don't care if it's a legend, if it's I want to see something interesting. So if you throw Brock Lesnar in there, well, then what do you do? You know, what do you do? It's not going to be Brock versus Tom Aspinall. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Doesn't seem very likely. So where do you put Brock? Maybe Conor moves up and fights Brock Lesnar, you know? Like, what do you put Brock Lesnar? What do you do? Brock versus Barry. We joked about Lesnar versus DC. We already spoke about that in previous streams. DC, listen, if DC comes out of retirement and says, fuck it, I'll fight Brock Lesnar at UFC 300. He did it on 200. He fought Anderson Silva. Now that's fighting a guy a little smaller, not height-wise, but he's a smaller guy, right? You know, physically. But if DC came out of retirement and fought Brock Lesnar, let me know in the chat, yes or no. Would you be down for that? I say, fuck yeah, let's go. Throw it on there. Now, I don't know if I want that as my main event, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I want it as my. I think it kind of. I mean, if it's Brock, I don't think I want it as my main event. But I would like it on the card. Why not? Not the main event, but on the card. You know, John put up a Q&A on what to ask Johnny Walker. So funny. Daniel, no golf beers for you. Breaking news, Conor fought Nate Diaz in a war August 2016. Turned around to one title, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Masvidal unretired, Leon versus George. We spoke about that earlier. Masvidal is unretired, and I literally flipped out. But then the chat brought me down to earth, and people are throwing that Nate Diaz run that fight back with Jorge Masvidal. Okay. I even wouldn't be... I mean, you know, Masvidal versus McGregor wouldn't be a bad fight. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. But to me, I feel like if you fight, if Masvidal fights McGregor, like I would like the UFC to have something where McGregor, you know, if he wins, you can actually make an argument that he could fight for some sort of belt or some shit, you know, just to make it even more funny. And I feel if he beats Masvidal, what does that really get him, you know? And if he loses to Masvidal, well, he lost to a washed-up guy, like, you know? Brock's daughter should fight Mark Hunt at 300, okay? McGregor versus MVP. Who is Paul Felder going to fight? Yeah, what the ever happened to that? Is he going to really come back? He's training. He says he wants to. Maybe if Jim Miller doesn't get hurt. Felder, Miller. Masvidal versus any striker, of course. But then people in the chat were saying, run back Colby Covington against George. No, thank you. I'm good. That ship has sailed for me. I don't need to see him get smothered again. Masvidal has the BMF. Well, technically, I mean, I guess technically you could say, since he gave it up and Gaethje got it, you could say that he never officially lost the BMF. I mean, it bothers me. It really bothers me. If Masvidal is coming out of retirement, what does this say? What does this say right now? Conor McGregor releases a video. George fucking goes on Twitter, X, and says he's unretired. This just screams that the UFC hit him up and be like, "Yo, George, you want one more?" Connor's dicking us around. We can't get a fucking contract signed with this guy. Can't get anything locked up. So, George, you want to, I don't know, fight Diaz or something? Want to rematch Covington? That's what this feels like to me. It feels like the UFC desperately reached out to him and says, "Hey, you want one more?" We have a couple of options. You want to fight Leon for the belt? Dude, could you imagine? Oh, God, it would. No, thank you, please. I don't need to see that.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Kainotto.
Lesnar was gone from WWE for 5 months getting ready for Jones. Jones got injured, so now Brock is coming back to the WWE. My sources are solid. If DC comes back to fight Lesnar, Lesnar will smother him. Don't believe me about Lesnar and WWE? Look it up.
You could be right. I don't know. I'm not a WWE guy, so I'm not really plugged into that. So I don't know what Brock's been doing. I do know that Brock is, 43, 44 years of age. DC is, unless DC's a fantastic actor. And thank you, Kainotto, for the donation. Thank you guys for the donations. Appreciate it. Very humbling. You guys have been very generous with the donations, and I truly do appreciate that. If you want to donate, hit the Streamlabs or the Super Chat. Thank you. Or if you want to become a member up as well, and you get those fancy badges. We're going to be doing some rebranding very soon on this channel. We're going to be doing, making a little flipperooskies. The website's going to be dropping. So we're looking to make moves and go into a fresh direction. Same show, same beautiful hosts, but we're going to be doing something a little different with our look. Now, Brock Lesnar coming back, fighting DC. DC, the way he's talking, the way he's looking, it doesn't look like he's really trying to get back into shape. But if my man does some sort of, I don't know, say he's doing an interview on his channel or something like that, or he's breaking down something, and then all of a sudden he steps up, he stands up, and he just rips breakaway pants, and he's in his, I don't know, unitard or whatever the hell that's called, and he's he's got his pants up to his nipples, wrestling style, and DC's like, "Brock Lesnar, I'll see you at UFC 300. It's official. It's going down." That would be nuts. It'd be fun. It would be fun. I'd be in. I know they're 40. But I'd be in. Let's go. Brock was 100, 200, 300. He was at 200. Wait, that's right. He was at 100, right? If you can confirm that, please. I don't remember. Yeah, I think he was at 100. So, dude, UFC 300. Brock is at 03. Yeah, is that UFC 100? I can't fucking remember. That was actually before my time. But was Brock on the 100 card? I can't remember who was on that card. But anyway, if DC did that, psh. Oh, Brock versus Mir. Okay, thank you. Brock Mir 2. Okay. So, yeah, that'd be nuts, right? 100, 200, 300, Jim Miller on the card for the nostalgia. Wow, Lesnar's 46. Is it wrong for us wanting to see that? Should we, what if he seriously gets hurt? Are we being too greedy as fans? You know what? Let me put a poll in. Yeah, maybe. He's 46. Oh man, we're kind of on. Have Brock fight Tony Ferguson. I remember the Conor drama with 200. I do remember that. That was ridiculous. What was I looking for? Oh, here we go. Poll. Okay. Here we go. Let's put a poll in. Do you want Brock to fight one more time? That's going to be the poll. Let's do this. Come on, YouTube. Stop playing games. Pop out chat. Okay, poll. Here we start a poll. Okay. Want a Brock Ngannou versus Aspinall? Well, we know that's not going to happen. Yeah, Aspinall is looking for he wants to stay active. All right, do you want a Brock return? All right, drop it in chat. vote away? I'm curious. Like, some people probably don't. I mean, he's 46 years of age. Some people, I bet there are people in the chat that never even seen him fight in the UFC. Last fight was at 200, right? That was the Mark Hunt fight, which was terrible. It was actually a terrible fight. And then Mark Hunt was like appealing because of the steroid situation and all that stuff. Listen, Brock Lesnar, the reason why you want to watch Brock fight is because you want to see the walk to the cage. You want a little bit of crazy cringe lead up. But are you going to see a good fight? The opening seconds of the rounds, you're going to see this crazy madman, just shooting for takedowns and shit like that. I mean, you'll see some spurts of madness, but it's going to be a lot of trash. But I'd be down for it. Is it going to be the best fight on the card? No. We're doing it for the nostalgia, basically. And he's 46 now, so it's like, But I'd be in.
Wonderful.
You like that fight, Hunt versus it was terrible.
It kills me, but Masvidal versus Gaethje to unite the BMF title.
Oh.
I really love Shwakat versus Khamzat if asking about bangers, but it won't happen. BTW, what would kill you more, Logan Paul or Dylan Dennis for UFC 300?
Oh my God. I wouldn't mind Dylan on the card if Conor was on the card too. If Conor was on the card and Dylan was on the card, I would like the butt buddy, the cringe and people making fun of Dylan and shit like that. But I don't need either of them, and I can't really answer that. I don't even want to think about those two, to be honest. Masvidal versus Gaethje to unite the BMF title. I don't hate it. I actually don't hate that because, well, listen, Gaethje will probably fuck up Masvidal now. I would imagine Gaethje would really fuck up Masvidal. Gaethje looks fantastic. But, Masvidal coming back, trying to defend Dustin Poirier, his boy, who got fucking killed by Gaethje. I don't hate that. I don't hate it. And it would be funny watching Masvidal get beat up by Gaethje. I don't hate it. I actually really like that. I hate the BMF belt. I can't stand it. But if you're going to put that fight together, Masvidal comes back and Gaethje beats the shit out of him. I'm in, man. I'm in. I'm down. Where do I sign? Let me know in the chat if you're in for that. By the way, I'm looking at the poll now. Let's see. So far, wow, 62% do not want Brock to return. Listen, Brock Lesnar returning would be fun, but it does not save UFC 300 in any way. It just makes it more fun. Makes it more, I don't know. Goofy things to talk about, and I like that. I do like that. So I don't not want Brock to come back. Please don't make him the main event. That would be a disaster. Oh, Brock Fedor. Wait, hold on a second. We forgot about that. We were speaking about that a couple of shows back. Listen, Fedor way past his prime. He's retired. But could you imagine the last emperor, Brock Lesnar? Come on. Hold on. Pump the brakes. That's the fight. That's the fucking fight. Now people want to probably change their vote. Now we're talking. Two geriatric legends. Dude. That's the fucking fight. Someone was saying that Fedor is not completely retired. He's thinking about one more. He's a kind of a free agent now. Bellator went over to PFL. I don't know what happened with all those contracts. I'm gonna put a new poll up. Let me raise my hand. I don't know why I'm raising my hand. All right, so 60% do not want Brock Lesnar back, but now, okay, now we have a new conversation. And this is why you got to jump into our live streams. Maybe late for you guys, but stay up. Have a coffee. Jump in. Best show on YouTube, best community on YouTube. We're putting another poll in the chat, baby. We're doing it. We're doing it live. All right, so 60% say no, they don't want Brock Lesnar back. But fuck you, 60%. We're going to ask you another question, okay? Here we go. Who wins? Fedor? I tell you what. That sounds interesting. If they can somehow pull that shit together, you got my attention. Brock Lesnar versus Fedor. Both guys, listen, they're old fucks, but still. All right, it's in there. It's in the chat. Locked and loaded. Get your votes in. Let's go.
Super chat.
Casey?
Happy Valentine's Day, Rainbow, Unicorn. First to be happy.
Happy Valentine's Day. Now, this is why when I show you the percentages here, this is why the UFC needs to make this happen. Now, could you imagine this, okay? Now let's just talk fantasy stuff. Everyone passed their prime, but what the hell, right? Let's just just hear me out, man. Hear me out. You could somehow get Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor to finally pull it together and get them on UFC 300. You get the Ronda Rousey versus Tate 3. You get Brock Lesnar versus Fedor. Fuck it. Masvidal's back. Justin Gaethje. Come on, baby. Now we're talking. This is what I'm talking about. Put this shit together. Let's go. It's just going to be fight after fight where I'm like, yes, I'm not going to the bathroom. I have to see this is a train wreck. I need to see this. Give that to me. Give this to this MMA hole. Make it happen, UFC. Conor, if you're jumping into the stream right now, Conor McGregor is a fucking liar. Everything he said at dinner as he was sucking down that wine, wearing his McGregor fast shirt at a fancy steakhouse or wherever the hell he is. D laughing. Just trolling everybody. This is not legit.
Here to you all. I'd like to announce the return date for myself, the notorious Conor McGregor, for the greatest comeback of all time.
Ace of Base, Indian Ace of Base being played in the background. I don't know what's going on, but he's coming back. Greatest comeback of all time.
Will take place in Las Vegas for International Fight Week on June the 29th. Come a little closer. And the opponent.
His opponent is? Oh, who is it?
Michael Chandler.
Michael Chandler, what?
And the weight, Mr. Chandler, 185 pounds.
Wonderful.
It's all fake. Fake news. Fake. He's a liar. He's just fucking lying.
He was jacked.
He was jacked on some wine. Just lies. So we still have a shot to get him on 300. We just put the card together for you guys. UFC, pull it out of your ass. Bunch of has-beens, washed up people. Throw them all over UFC 300. Because UFC 300 should be a night of nostalgia. That's what it should be. It should be a night where we reminisce. Could you imagine if you're at UFC 300, Teenage Wasteland kicks in. Teenage Wasteland! And they got the highlights of fucking Brock and Ronda and McGregor. Bro, what the fuck? Yes. That is what UFC 300 should be. That's what we need. You got good cards leading up. You got fun title fights. Put it together, UFC. Make it happen, Dana. Make it happen.
Wonderful.
Final $2 barrage of the night. We know MVP coming up. Barring Francis, if you had to grab a Bellator fighter for a contract for UFC 300, who would you choose? Just spitballing as I have no idea who will headline, and we are going to fantasy MMA now.
Not fantasy. That's all going to happen, UFC 300. You heard it here first. When they put that card together, you need to clip the card that we put together. Chad, if you have a YouTube channel, clip the card that we put together, a fucking banger. Tag Dana White and say, this is the card we want. Tag us on X, we'll retweet it. It's very simple. It's very I'll say it again. Conor McGregor is lying to us. He's not fighting in June. We don't even know if he's even fighting again. But if he does, UFC 300 headlined by Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. The second fight on the card. Brock Lesnar versus Fedor. Ronda Rousey versus Miesha Tate. Masvidal's back from retirement. Make him fight Justin Gaethje. Unify the goddamn BMF belts. Clip it. Put out what else you want on that card. I'll make it happen. I would even be cool. If you don't want to put Gaethje, if you don't want Gaethje to fight Masvidal, which I think it's a fresh fight. It's interesting. Unify the belts. You could still do Masvidal versus Nate Diaz. I'm fine with that. Or you could put Diaz versus McGregor 3 atop of the card and keep Masvidal versus Gaethje. I'm good with it. Those fights have to happen on UFC 300 because it's a fight night of nostalgia. UFC 300 is a night of reminiscing. Reminiscing. You know what I'm saying. So fucking clip it. Send it to the boss. Tell him to make it happen, Dana. Because I said so.
Ah, super chat.
Optimistically
What
cynical.
would Lesnar look with no pads at 46?
Oh, he could be on the sauce. There's no USADA. Just do it. This is another testing. Just don't worry about it. Fedor, Lesnar, they'll just come in with their traps up to their ears. Let's go. Juice up, baby. By the way, the live chat poll. Okay. Stand by. The poll, the live chat poll. Keep on spreading the love and hitting that like button, please. Spread the love. By the way, Tyron Woodley was eating pussy. That's all over the place. Couldn't find the video. I was trying to find the video, guys. But it is a video that is leaked of Tyron Woodley eating snatch to open up the new year. Here's the poll. Fedor, 53%. Brock Lesnar, 47%. Get some more votes in over here, okay? Vote away, everyone. If you have not voted yet, after you distribute your like, make sure you hit the poll, okay? Because look at this. Keep voting away. Brock Lesnar, 47%, 53% for Fedor. Okay? That's pretty close. Two washed up guys, two legends. Could you imagine Fedor makes the walk to the octagon? One more fight against Brock Lesnar. And we're 50-50 on the poll. This is why the UFC has to dig these guys off the couch or whatever the hell they're doing. Tell them to get back in the gym. Put some needles in their ass. I don't know. Eat some horse meat. Make it happen, baby. Now, I don't know. Look, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. It's a split fight. No one knows who's going to win. No one has a clue. Perfect matchmaking. Perfect. Make it happen, Dana. Put it together.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Kainotto.
Most washed up UFC fighters went to Strikeforce and they each lined up to fight Fedor. Old Manhendo, Sasquatch, Fabricio and Badar all but fucked the Great Emperor. Fedor's mistake was avoiding the UFC when he was still good. Legacy dead.
It's okay, though. No, it's okay. Because if he smash... Well, are you afraid that he's going to smash Brock Lesnar? Kainotto? Let me ask, because Kainotto's a big Brock fan, right? If you're a Brock Lesnar fan, are you worried? Because if Brock comes back, 46 years of age, and then Fedor goes in there and just annihilates Brock, which, I got to be honest with you, I would probably pick Fedor in that fight. Is that what you're worried about right now? Oh, the poll went in favor of Broccoli now. Hold on a second. Look at this. So now it's swung in favor of Broccoli Lesnar. Look at this. We're back and forth. This is the fight to make. If I had to put money on this, I would have to go Fedor. I would have to. But both guys old, both guys washed up. See, Kainotto says, please make it happen. Could you imagine the lead up to that? Could you imagine we're breaking down Fedor versus Brock Lesnar? Think about it. Let it rattle around between the ears. Dude, I'm getting shoved up thinking about it. It's amazing. Derek Barnes coming in. It's all Conor McGregor's fault. Has gifted a double champ. Let's go, champ. It's a very giving donation right there, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Super chat.
Super duper chat.
Demi Lovato versus Heroin 2. Back to black fight.
That's right. And then Luke Rockhold dates whoever wins, right? Thank you so much. Thank you, Casey. Appreciate that. It's Tito.
Wonderful, wonderful.
It's fucking Tito coming in. Oh, my God, Tito.
Come on, Mosse ARP won't allow it. They don't offer oxygen tanks.
Fuck it. Bring
dentures.
Tito
wheelchair
back.
symbol.
Tito, you want to fight? Get on the card. Who you want to put Tito against? Why not? Tito Ortiz. Wasn't he running his mouth not too long ago? Isn't he? Bring Tito back too. Why not? Throw him back in there too. Why not? Why not? Who cares? It's UFC 300. Fuck it. BJ Penn versus Tony Ferguson. Why not? Why the fuck not? Put it in there. Although I think Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson would be the fight to me. Why not? What's to stop the UFC from doing this? Just do it. Make it happen. Let's just go balls to the wall. Who gives a shit about these title fights? Give us one night. Give us just a flat-out circus. I don't know. Is that too much to ask? Just give me a circus. One's in the chat if you're down for a circus. Just give it 300. You don't have to do this every card. Just fucking go for it. Get everyone off the couch. Give them a nice paycheck. Let's go. Brock Lesnar's now leading 51% to 49% over Fedor. What are we doing tonight? This is all Conor's fault. Conor McGregor, it's all your fault that we're even having this conversation. It's all your fault. And I guarantee there's some fans out there that are so triggered by this conversation because this is not pure MMA. This is not pure UFC. I don't want to watch no WWE. At the end of the day, they're locked in a cage. And they're going to beat the shit out of each other. I don't care. If you put two washed up people against each other, well, it's not so bad. Right? It's not so bad. They're really fighting each other. They're beating the fuck out of each other. Maybe they're not at their prime. But come on. Nostalgia. Get Mike Goldberg on the mic. Here we go. And it's all Conor McGregor's fault. Liar that this man is. Liar. All right, chat. What else you want to talk about before I get out of here? I've went on enough about this nonsense. Rampage is doing boxing in Saudi. I saw him dude, he's funny as hell, man. Rampage is in peak form with his sarcasm and his jokes, man. He's been pretty funny on social media. Fedor, he's better grappler and a better striker. Yeah, listen, I think Fedor wins too. I'm actually surprised that Brock Lesnar's in the lead right now in the poll. Like, I'm shocked. I'm not shocked that it's close, but I mean, Fedor should win that fight. If you just think about skills, I don't see how Fedor doesn't win that fight. But man, oh man, would that be fun? And I don't even care who wins, to be honest. Brock wins, it'd be great. Fedor wins, it'd be great. I don't give a shit. I just want to see him fight. Thomas, I agree. I think Fedor would destroy him. Brock can't take blows very well. I agree. I thought he would see mix-up like Conor beating up Bilal Muhammad. Justice for Gaethje. January UFC talk. Let's go, baby. Punch that like button, you pussies. Thank you, thank you. Facts. McNuggets reckons he's an actor. Yeah, listen, this is Roadhouse right here. That's all you're seeing. All you're seeing here is just he's showing off his acting skills. That's it, man. He's just having fun. You know, the more it's stuck in my head and it's sitting there, and the more I see this video, it's just garbage. You know, he's horsing around. He's trolling. The UFC would lose their mind if Conor just released it like that, the news. So he's not fighting in June. That's not fucking happening. And even if it does happen, probably not 185. You know, he's just trolling. But yeah, Masvidal announced his return, so that's a thing. If you care.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Brock is still athletic, strong as hell and quick. Anyone would be stupid to deny that Brock can still do it physically. Fedor is built like a bag of mayonnaise now, with a slight tan. I would love to watch Brock bury Fedor's legacy. Come on, Moss.
Hey,
lol.
I would not. I would not be opposed to Brock. I'm not like a massive Fedor nut rider. Like, I don't care. I would love to see him make the walk, and I'd probably root for Brock. I probably would. But Brock's not winning that fight. I mean, even in prime Brock Lesnar versus prime Fedor, still it wouldn't work. You know. But still, I mean, come on. You never know, right? You never know. All right, I'm going to look through some UFC news here, and then I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for stopping by. Oh, let me show you guys this. So this is all because of Sausage. There's a merchandise section, And I have been like obsessed. So I've been making this AI shit on Discord. Go on our Discord and go check out the merch section that Sausage put together. Give me your ideas. But I've been taking the stuff and then throwing it into Photoshop and adjusting and shit like that and putting some stuff together. And I've been coming up with some fucking weird shit. And I like it, man. I fucking like it a lot. So go check out our merch store. We got some new stuff over there. The link is pinned in the live chat if you want to get something and support the MMA-Holes. We're going to be doing a little reboot of the look of, you know, what's, you know, this is going to be a switch. It's going to be a little bit of a switch. So I'm inspired. Thank you, Sausage, for putting it in there. And you can make your own designs as well on Discord. Go check it out. But I'm feeling frisky, man. I'm feeling frisky. All these other big companies have done it. So let's, 7 years on YouTube. Let's start switching things up here. So we're going to have a new look. So the old logo may not be around much longer, but it'll always be forever remembered and tattooed on my body. So I'll always have a soft spot for it, but we'll be seeing some new stuff. And let me know what you think about specific designs, what you would like to see, what you would wear, what you wouldn't wear. I want to get your feedback on it. But yeah, the skull is loose, baby. If you see that skull, you know what's up. If that skull pops up on the thumbnail, you know what's up. Okay? It's loose, baby. It's loose. Anyway, let me look at the news and see if there's anything that popped up. Other than Masvidal, I saw that popped up. It's a slow news time. There's no fights. Yeah, it's all Conor shit. Leon Edwards reveals welterweight title defense set for 300. Don't believe what you see or read, but yes, that video was lurking around. Leon was at some sort of soccer game or football, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, he was talking about defending his belt. With Masvidal saying he's unretired, I got very nervous. Listen, I want to see Bilal fight him, not at 300, please. I don't want to see it then. Sonnen was the first to say Ian was sick and pulling out. Yeah, but he lied. It's not completely true. The story was, half right. Just don't call it Maverick. My Sausage needs a tribute shirt. It could happen. Listen, we're going to be doing one-off shirts. It's going to be happening, like one-off designs up for a month, yanked. So we could do like features of community members. So listen, if you're a staple of the community, you will not go unrecognized for sure. We will definitely have stuff catered towards some of the personalities of the chat. So member up, guys. Be active in the chat. Share, tag us on social media. Just keep staying active with us so you can stand out from the rest, and you never know. You'll probably be part of the machine. Those retirement fights and the fights coming back from retirement sure do boost ticket sales. Yeah, man. Listen, come on. At the end of the day, it's all about selling tickets. It's all about, getting pay-per-view buys and all that crazy stuff. And I think one event a year should be UFC should devote one event every year to just a shit show. They should do it. Like every year, the shit show event. Now this is UFC 300, but if you sprinkle this nostalgia and stuff like that, it makes it fun. Next year, maybe there can be a yearly thing. Let me know in the chat if you'd be down for that. You have your numbered fights, This way you can get rid of the BMF. And if you want to dress it up in a BMF thing, sure, fine. What the hell? But why not have one a year? Why not? Just to be fun. And to get it all out of your system so you don't sprinkle it throughout the year. Just get it once a year. It's okay. It's fun, Just put some good fights together, make it a shit show, and have some fun. I tell you what, Bellator back in the day, when they were on Spike TV, like when they were having these crazy fucking matchups of like 60-year-old fighters, it was fun, man. I don't know. And then Bellator tried to get serious and they started to suck. If you time me out, you're just, I don't know. What are you fucking going on about? Hey, 2 joints. Did Canada win? Why not? Like, what the fuck is wrong with mods these days? Dude, we have like 2 mods. We have like 2 mods. What are they doing? They're not doing anything. Connor loves rent free in your head. Oh my God, I can't even chat right. Let's see. You're absolutely right. Let's go, John. You with me? All right, let's see if there's anything else. Chael Sonnen baffled by Bo Nickel. Yeah, these like old ass stories. Is there anything in the chat you guys want to talk about before we eject ourselves from YouTube? I had a great time tonight. I hope you guys had fun. It's always fun streaming over here with you guys from the chat. But let me know if there's anything else you want to touch on before we bid farewell for the Monday show. It's been a fun time hanging with the boys.
Hanging with the boys.
Let me know what you got. Let me know what you got in the chat. Show us your dick. I will. DM me. I'll show it to you. I can't show it to you here, but I'll show it to you. DM me. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Play the song. No, there's no Jesse. When Jesse's on, we'll play it. Can we talk about being happy? Listen, I'm very happy, man. 2023 had some moments of weird stuff. Every year someone dies. It's some like really things go really bad. But I don't know. I'm all about staying on the bright side. So I think every year is just going to get better. I'm going to take all the high moments, no pun intended, and I'm just going to enjoy it, man. 2024 is going to be great. Did you see Islam versus Justin is signed via Sonnen? Islam versus Justin? Where is this? Hold on, let me check it out. Okay, that might be something to talk about. Islam versus Justin. Uncle Chael. You just never know with this guy. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong. Most of the time he's wrong. Nothing on his X account. So no, where is that? Chael's fake news, pretty much. Mosh just MMA-Holes. Felt like I haven't seen you all in a year. It's true. We haven't seen. It's been a year. It has. Tyron Woodley might need some help. Dude, I can't find the video. I was trying to find it. It's just that still shot. So what's up with that? How many people in the chat saw the Tyron Woodley video? I was gonna put it on a thumbnail. I'm like, oh fuck. I don't need to get canceled right off the bat. I was gonna switch up the thumbnail and be like, okay, but I didn't do it. Did anyone see the video? And what happened? It was just him just going to town. I just saw the still of Tyron Woodley between the thighs. And I was like, oh my God, dude, what's going on here? I heard Chael is going to take over for Dana. That's not true. And he would be interesting, but I don't think I don't know. It's going to be some guy within. No comment. He was eating out. Hell no, you didn't see it. Hope it was, I don't know if is his wife or who was he going down on? I don't know. But people are freaking out about it. Hope it was clean. You think she washed herself before he went down there? Falling in and out of love. It turned out to be a tranny. All right. Well, on that note, okay, I have nothing else to talk about. Thank you guys for stopping by. Make sure you hit the like button, share the stream, become a member. Thank you to the members. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to all the donators tonight. Clash TV, go follow us on Clash TV. Costs nothing. And we'll be doing some shows on there tomorrow. We're going to re-air this on Clash TV, so just give it some comments over there on Clash. I'd appreciate that. And we'll be back here on Wednesday night on the MMA-Holes YouTube channel. We'll be back on Friday as well. We have a second channel called Gummy Gang where we get high and we play games. Not Avatar. I don't think I'm playing that again, but unless you guys request it. But yeah, we'll be back on Gummy Gang sometime this week, I guess. And Saturday, I don't know. What should we do Saturdays? No fights. Any fights going on? So we'll figure it out. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And don't be an a-hole. Be an MMA-Hole. Good night. By the way, Fedor and Brock Lesnar, 50-50 in the poll. 50-50. Make it happen, Dana.